All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a chapter that is just absolutely packed with secret plots, surprising alliances, and a couple of character introductions that are, well, they're completely out of this world. So we're jumping right into Chapter 85. We're going to be following our protagonist, Jack, on a day that honestly starts out with some pretty standard detective work and ends up somewhere truly, truly mythical. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to follow Jacques' journey pretty much step by step through these 4 key moments: her getting ready, a visit to a very weird workshop, and then 2 meetings that will honestly change everything. All right, first up, let's talk about Jake's prep work. It's this great mix of old-school spy stuff and, fixing some relationships she pretty much shattered. So, the chapter kicks right off with Jack in her grandfather's study. She's on the hunt for anything that could be a clue. No laptop, no keys, nothing obvious. But she does find a little flashlight and a compass, which she immediately pockets for what she calls her go sack. And when she hits a wall, she doesn't give up. She just decides it's time to learn a new skill. And this is where you just have to love her resourcefulness. She watches a quick 2-minute video, grabs a couple of binder clips, and just teaches herself how to pick locks. It works. She gets into 3 file cabinets, and that's when she finds it. A little file on something called the Eastern Tower. A huge, huge potential lead. So after she's done with her search, she finds the butler Collins. And this is a really big moment for her. She knows she's been a total jerk to him, and she actually apologizes, thanking him for saving her life. And this leads to a truth that, honestly, neither of them probably saw coming. And what's so cool about this scene is that it's a two-way street. Jock offers his heartfelt apology and thanks, and in return, Collins doesn't just forgive her, he gives her a knapsack and even admits he lied to her before. It's this fantastic moment where they finally get on the same page, building this really unlikely alliance. So, with her gear ready and a new ally by her side, Jack heads out to the barn to thank the next person on her list, Dr. Takar, or as he likes to be called, Maz. And folks, this is exactly where the chapter takes a very sharp, very sudden turn into the wonderfully weird. Maz, who is every bit the self-proclaimed mad scientist, is just thrilled to see her. He tells her it's probably too dangerous for her to watch his actual experiments, but he does have a couple of friends he wants her to meet. And right away, this is not going to be a normal visit. Okay, so this is where the chapter just kicks into another gear entirely. I promise you, you are not ready for Maz's first friend. Maz leads her into a side room, and there he is, Groucho. And yes, you are reading that correctly. He's a chimpanzee wearing a custom helmet that lets him talk. And just like his name suggests, he has a very specific personality. The literal second Groucho sees Jack, he lives up to his name. He just swivels around in his chair and starts firing off these hilariously politically incorrect one-liners like he's been ripped straight out of an old Marx Brothers movie. But you gotta love Jack here. She doesn't even flinch. She just fires right back at him. When she tells him she's not interested, he has this immediate, ridiculous comeback that actually makes her laugh. The whole conversation is just this incredibly fast and funny back and forth. And here's the thing. We learn very quickly that Groucho isn't just some talking gimmick. The chimp is brilliant. His favorite book is by Jane Goodall, and he's a chess master who used to beat Jacques' grandfather all the time. He's this fascinating, hilarious, and just unbelievably smart character. So you have to imagine what this is like for Jacques. This one encounter with Groucho just completely shatters her reality. I mean, a few hours ago she was picking locks, and now she's trading insults with a genius-level talking chimpanzee. Her world just got infinitely bigger and a whole lot stranger. But as wild as a talking chimp is, Maz's next introduction is on a completely different planet. We're going from the absurd straight into the mythical. So they leave the lab, and Maz leads her down these concrete steps into this massive cavern under the barn. Jack's worried about bats, but Maz is like, oh no, it's not a mammal. She is about to meet a literal living legend. And then a massive red dragon opens an eye that's as big as her head, looks right at her, and says, that. Just an absolutely unbelievable jaw-on-the-floor opening line. His name, by the way, is Draco. Jack is just stunned. She puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that the magic cream that saved her life, the one that healed her terrible burns, had a very unique, very personal active ingredient, a donation from Draco himself. But wait, there's more.
Draco isn't just a source for magical healing ingredients. He then casually demonstrates that he's a world-class magician by turning completely invisible right in front of her. This is real, powerful magic.
So why would a dragon need to learn an invisibility spell? Well, his reason is actually amazing. He explains that he had this recurring problem with humans. They'd see him, freak out, and sacrifice a virgin. So then he'd feel obligated to go rescue her and fly her to safety. He literally became, in his words, a taxi for virgins.
And I absolutely love this part because Draco's story just completely flips the classic fairy tale on its head. He says he was never the monster. The real monsters were the humans who betrayed their own people. And, get this, he learned from the girls he rescued that some of the men just made up the custom to get what they wanted. It's just an incredible take on how legends get started and who the real monsters are.
As Jack gets ready to leave, she thanks Draco again for his generous contribution. And proving he's just as quick-witted as Groucho, Draco gets the last laugh with this absolutely perfect, clever final line.
And that's what makes this chapter so fantastic, right? It escalates so perfectly from a simple search for clues to these surreal, world-altering encounters. It just blows the doors off what we thought was possible in this story and leaves us all asking one simple question. What in the world can possibly happen next?